On the tour at the time, I was watching the games from home, and he burst on the scene, and you know what he was known for back then was he just came to the table and kept clearing up. His practice routines were all based on kept clearing the table. He'd set a frame up and clear up. And he was so good in the balls and very, very, very naturally based. You know, he used to just get on with it and play. And for me, over the years, he's just gone that little bit too technical. He's opened Pandora's box and looked into the technical elements of the game, for me, a bit too much. I think it's not helped him.
You would expect with someone of his talent, who's been very consistent since he's been a professional, that he hasn't been in more finals and won more tournaments.
A very strange technique that he doesn't prepare for the shot with backwards and forwards movements. He really does put the tip to the ball, waits for a while until he's judged the line, and then slowly pulls the cue back and pulls the trigger.
We were always taught that that was you getting ready for the shot, feeling the shot out, preparing yourself. He doesn't do any of that.
Very little. One thing he hasn't got too much of is cue power, and that isn't the end of the world, but it does help if you've got a bit.
I don't think he has that sort of super confidence that some of the other guys might have, you know, that when he does get to that position, that he has that self-belief that the likes of Sean or Judd Trump or Neil Robertson and Selby or O'Sullivan would have, that he has that self-belief against these top players. Even though he has success against them, he doesn't ooze that confidence like some of the others does, and maybe that might be just himself. Like, you know.
I've always thought he was quite an attacking player, even though you wouldn't think it from how he walked around the table. Perhaps it's wrong, it's just the feeling that he's quite aggressive when trying to win the frame, you know, with a few balls left, and not break building. I think he's pretty decent break builder.
I'd say he's very, very good in the balls. He's very, very heavy scorer. And as I say, when he first came onto the scene, that was his hallmark. He was an immense scorer. One of the critiques we've had of other players in the time has been their temperament. But you couldn't say that of Marco. Marco's temperament is absolutely first class. You could watch any match of his from any time in history and you wouldn't know whether he was winning or losing. His temperament is first class, and any kids out there watching should focus on him and his temperament, because he's somebody to copy.